Hey everyone, good morning. Can you guys hear me? Yes, hopefully. I'll open up the chat. If you can't hear me, let me know.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. Amazing. Happy, what is today, Wednesday? We're all surviving. We'll just wait a couple more minutes as usual to let everyone hop on. And then I will get started on today. We're gonna talk about TikTok and video again. I have a little bit more to share with you guys today. I think it'll be good for us as we kind of think about this market and kind of where we're all at with everything. I know I hear just from other agents that they're kind of like, what do I do? They're just kind of feeling a little bit like, I don't know, helpless, or I don't know if the victim is the right word, or just what to do in this market. So we're going to talk about that a little bit here in a second. So we'll just wait a couple more minutes here and then we will get started. I have some people texting me. All right, we're gonna get started because that's just how we roll around here. So I want to be on time, and I always want to honor your guys' time because I know you guys pop in just for like a half an hour to join us. Hi, Kayla, I see you. Hi, Kalene.
Hi.
Hi. Here we are again on a Wednesday. I don't know. I feel like there's like so much going on. I did get my Christmas tree up, so don't judge me. Kaylene's mad at me.
I was like, do not do that. I don't want to see that.
She won't even come into my house right now.
I still have pumpkins on my front porch.
I think most people do. I think I'm a little strange. All right, well, so we'll get started. So I think today we're just going to talk about, last week we talked a lot and we dug into the numbers of like videos, like how many videos do we do and how do we automate it and how does that touch people so many different times. And I'll pull up that graphic again for you guys who won't hear, just so we can kind of go over those numbers. But the way we automate our video and the way we go through that, so that way it's less work on our end, but they're still getting in contact with us. They're still getting, and we're still getting referrals. That's kind of how we started to generate with, once we get business, how we generate and stay on top of them. And then I had, we had a lot of people reach out, and they were all asking, for that TikTok again, a little bit more of that video. So that's why we're doing this today. And I'll kind of talk to you about what that means at the end, as far as where we're going from here a little bit. Kind of excited about it. I think it'll be great for everybody. From when we did some of our last challenges, we had a lot of feedback as far as accountability and what that looked like. And so we're going to kind of address some of that as we go. But so today we're going to talk about TikTok and video and a little bit of maybe the psychology behind it and what that looks like. I'm going to share my screen here. Oh, there's Kalene and I doing some video.
Oh, there we are.
There we are. You can't hide it. Here, let's see. All right. So, the first thing is kind of like why TikTok. And I think TikTok is one of the most, as we always hear, one of the most platforms that's growing. And I think I used to think when I started that they were all like middle school kids or high school kids on there doing dances. And they are, my kids are always on TikTok. But as you can see, those, what we thought is not quite that young of a generation who is using TikTok. And then also the more and more that generation ages, the more and more they'll be first-time home buyers. So you might as well jump in, right? You can't deny it. We're not getting younger.
Well, and I remember that first conversation that we had. You had gone on a weekend with some of your college girlfriends and you were like, because we were struggling with getting our kids off TikTok. We were like, limit the amount, what's the screen time? And then you were like, at my girls' weekend, all of my friends were on TikTok. I was like, what? Yeah. What kind of friends did you have? And then, I noticed my husband on TikTok, and I think at the beginning we thought it was dances and kids, which there definitely is an audience for that. But the reality is there's a wide range of users on TikTok. And, again, it's our stage for our video marketing.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So I was kind of looking these numbers every once in a while just to kind of maybe motivate myself sometimes. I think people always ask, we're going to get to it, the why. And then this is a kind of a breakdown of TikTok by age. And you can see, this, there are a big chunk of young kids, but if I can capture an audience of, 30, 40, 50%, even if I capture some of this audience of those first-time home buyers, it's a pretty large audience to capture when that's what they're going for their information. I think even when they talked about, not to get into politics, but even like as we go into, the next election year, what that looks like, so much of these users are getting their information, even like news-based information from TikTok, although it's meant to be an education, or I'm sorry, an entertainment platform. They're using it for actual like facts and knowledge. And so what does that look like? And how as real estate agents do we take advantage of it? I think is fascinating to look at as we jump into it. And then we also can look at TikTok engagement. It keeps going up. People are more and more engaging with it. Facebook is going down. So, Instagram is remaining pretty steady. So, TikTok is kind of where that engagement keeps increasing. And so I think that's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, so what we're going to talk about, and you guys can jump in and feel free to I know Kalene and I talk a lot. I actually gave one of our videos to our editor yesterday. Did you see her response?
No.
Because Kalene and I don't know what we did yesterday. We went and filmed some video. We were
turkey hats.
In turkey hats. And she was like, well, thank you for your videos. They always entertain me at the end of a long day. I was like, oh, great. But so the first thing is, why video? I think when we talk about being real estate agents right now, I don't know how many of you guys are feeling like that angst, that like, where's my business? What's happening to the business? Where is it going? But you got to think about the why. And I think when your why is big enough, it becomes easy to do it because you know why you're doing it. I think so often, and Kalene even talks to me about this. It's like, I do the TikTok, but she struggles with, just kind of doing it and getting out there and engaging with it. And I think when you know the why and when you can see the result, then it becomes easy. But until then, until you know your why of why you're doing TikTok, why you're in real estate, why you're doing video, it doesn't become as clear, and it's harder to get past it's harder to actually do it.
And I think where I struggle a little bit is I start being a consumer and I go off on a tangent. So I think in my opinion, you have to come in to these platforms knowing that you are using it for the success of your business. And if that's being said, one thing that I started doing, I actually put a screen time on myself. That way I can go look for good ideas, like how do I want to brand myself? What's a new kind of video? And it really isn't rocket science, but as I'm saving some of those videos, then my screen time pops up and says, all right, you used your 20 minutes for the day. I'm like, okay, that's enough check for me. I can go ahead and move on. And then, you have to develop the habit of getting into a TikTok rhythm. I know Laurie, she drops her kids off at school before she even exits the car. She just does that. I am going to be completely honest. I have yet to come up with the best schedule for me, but I can understand the content. And I think Laurie's exactly right, is when you understand why you're doing it, that consumer mindset changes completely.
Yeah. And I think like corporations, I know any corporation you go into, it's like the classic cheesy question is, what's your why? And I think I challenge you guys to think about it. I think it helps shape, your focus. What is your why? My why is so I can provide for my family. My why is so even in a down market, I know I'm preparing myself to have money in my bank account. That's my why of real estate. The why is for TikTok is because I don't want to door knock. I don't want to cold call. I think that's my why. I don't want to rely on my friends and family to sell the real estate. And why video? Because I know the value. We showed you last week, it's in the numbers. If you go look at our numbers over here, and that's, kind of what we put, we have this set up where this is over here is our categories of how we stay in front of our sphere. This is the method. This is the number of videos I have to shoot, which actually equals about, on average, about 2 to 3 videos a month. It's not a lot. this is the number of touches. If you were here last time, we have over 1 million touches with our sphere. And then it equates down here. This is, you know, the number of total views. And then down here is the power of video. And this isn't even within our sphere. This is from actually using YouTube and TikTok. I know in the next 3 months of hot leads in our CRM, 0 to 3 months, that we have 9 active clients. Of those in the next 3 months, we just got 2 last week. So I actually, or 3. So actually I added 3 more to this now. Number of videos, or number of those hot leads, I'm sorry, through videos were 7. Now it's 10. Our projected sales volume is 3.5. Now it's probably closer to.
We have $2 million buyers from last week.
Exactly. Yeah, we had Bernard and Dan, and then that one. So we're up to probably 5.5 million just from last week. And then your total commission, and then that's increased as well. And then that's just during our slow season, during the down market. So the power of it is there, and that's my why. And that, you know, that's what motivates me, is because I can see those results. So I know that's the why.
Now, we aren't talking about producing TikTok, YouTube, Instagram posts for the accolades. We're talking about posting to keep our pipeline full. To me, that is 2 very different initiatives. And with that in mind, it helps us get the big picture of how we're going to brand ourselves, how we're going to put ourselves out there, what type of content we're putting out there, and what we're asking that audience to do after they viewed that content. You know, what's their action step? What do we need from them so that we know that they're coming to us from that type of, you know, whether that's YouTube or Instagram or TikTok.
Right. Yeah. And I think, you know, that kind of leads into like, what's your mindset, especially in this market, guys? It's so easy to be like, it's so easy to say, I don't know what to do. I feel stuck. It's not my fault. It's the market's fault. It's ever someone else's fault. And are you going to stay there? Is it just too hard where you can't do it? You can't do video. You're not skinny enough. You're not young enough. You're not, I mean, I look at TikTok and these girls are like 20 and like 110 pounds. That's great. That's not me. I am not 20. I'm not 110 pounds. I am not young. I'm a middle-aged mom. I am not a techie guru. If I can do it, you guys can do it. I know you can, but where do you get stuck in your mindset, I guess? And, you know, that's kind of what we're thinking is, and I want you guys to wrap your head around this. It took me a long time to wrap my head around this. When you think about TikTok and, you know, our Facebook group that we run, and we talk about YouTube and all the different places that we use video, we all started with 0 subscribers. We all started with 0 fans. And that's fine. When you think of being an influencer in social media world, you think of being an influencer, you know, you have to have tons of fans. You have to, that's not our goal in real estate. Every one of you on here, I'm assuming, is a real estate agent. We don't make our money. We're not going to make our money on social media ever. And if you do, you get to tons of fans. Great. You go for it. But we're not going to make our money by having thousands and thousands of followers. We are going to make our money by having be an influencer to a select group of people. So I think you got to kind of think about that. I think you get overwhelmed thinking, oh, I have to be a mega influencer when I jump on these platforms. No, you don't. You know,
Nope.
Kalene and I had a YouTube, we had our first lead and we had, I don't know, like 100 subscribers, not even. And we just started. You do not want to be a mega influencer. You want to be an influencer to the correct select group of people. And I think
and with that being said, Laurie and I actually went through analytics on our YouTube channel. Was that just yesterday? Seems like it was a while ago. It was just yesterday.
It was just yesterday.
And we were just gauging, you know, what our competitors are doing, what we aren't doing, why maybe we have more downloads, but they have more subscribers, and, you know, just analyzing all of those things. And at the end of the day, there's an ass for every seat. There is, you know, somebody that's going to be attracted to the people on this channel are going to be reaching out to that group of agents, versus the people that are reaching out to us from our channels. They already know who we are. They already know. And to be honest, our branding is just very authentic, very real. And that's the feedback that we're getting from the clients from these videos, is we felt like we could trust you. We literally had somebody say, we thought it would be fun to work with you guys. You don't have to be anything you are not, because again, there is your audience, there's like people out there, and you being vulnerable and putting yourself out there on video is only going to attract those like people. And to
Right.
be honest, if they have negative comments on your videos or whatnot, kill them with kindness, move on. Great. It actually helps your analytics. So go for it.
And I don't know if Amber's on here. She's one of our agents here locally, but she was working with one of our clients, one of the clients who's looking at $1 million homes here last week, or I don't remember when it was. Maybe it was this week. Was it this week? Anyway,
It was this week.
I don't know. And the people that they saw us and they're like, oh, I think we're meeting celebrities. We only have 1,500 subscribers on our YouTube account. But what that tells me is I'm an influencer to that select group of people. To them, I'm a celebrity. I don't know what that means, but to them, that's the word they use when they met me, because they see me all the time. And that's who I want to be an influencer to, is those select group of people who are buying $1 million homes here in my local market. So you do not have to be a mega influencer when we talk about these social media channels. You just need to be an influencer to a select group of people. So get your head wrapped around the fact you don't need a ton of subscribers. I think I'd rather have you guys be intentional with your marketing, is what we're going to talk about next. And I think that's where so far we've been really successful, is how we market to this select group of audience and what is our intention behind it. And I want you to ask yourself a question right now. Ask yourself. So we have a Facebook group with 30,000 local people on it. We start at 0. We have about 250 subscribe every day. It's a great platform. We know how to capture their emails. We know how to capture their phone numbers. We're doing all this stuff with it, right? Or would you rather have a YouTube or TikTok channel with only 2,000 subscribers? And the answer for us is definitely our YouTube and TikTok. We generate those numbers you guys see are from our YouTube, are from our TikTok, are from our video, our retargeting from our Sphere, what we talked about last week. Our Facebook group is great. Do we generate leads? Yes. But full disclosure, that's what we're struggling with. What are we doing? We're very intentional with our YouTube marketing. We're very intentional with our TikTok marketing, and we'll show you that on TikTok during our challenge. But the Facebook group, that's where we're struggling, is we're missing that intentionality mark as far as our marketing. Why is it not successful, right? We need to know our audience more. We need to be intentional. Less followers does not equal less money in the social media world. I think that's something that we have to think about.
And with that being said, I just think that the proof is in the numbers. And so whatever endeavor you are starting with any of your video marketing, figure out a way. Maybe it's your CRM, maybe it's just a simple spreadsheet, something that you can handle at this point. Be tracking where those leads are coming from. Ask your clients specifically, what made you actually finally decide to reach out? What made you, what video was most helpful? There's many different ways to do it, but my advice is keep track of it. This is another full disclosure moment. We started just keeping track of things with our spreadsheet. It totally worked for a set amount of time. You do want those systems in place so that you can be able to come back and logistically track where your time is best spent. And that proof comes out in the numbers. You want to be able to know what types of videos are really hitting your audience the best, so that you know what, we're going to do an update on pros and cons. We're going to do, because it may not be the one with the most views that made them reach out. I know for a fact that when we did price points, what can you get for 900,000 here in Colorado Springs video, we literally had 3 clients reach out, and they said, we saw that video and, we decided to reach out. With that being said, we started getting a lot of clients that were at that price point. And then Laurie said, you know what, we need to go back and do a price point video. What can you get for 550,000, which is more affordable in our market? Did that video. Sure enough, you have that stream of clientele come in. So we can directly say that price point videos affect the clientele that we're getting within those, from the date that we published that video, for at least a month.
Right. So you got to know your audience. You got to know where they're at. And that's part of it. That's why our YouTube and TikTok, and that's what we're, going to talk about as far as that content goes, is, be intentional on the content you're putting out, because that's what your audience is going to listen to, and that's what they're going to reach out to you for. And then the last part of that with our Facebook group is consistency. And we're working on that. Like, what's our consistency as far as, what type of content are we putting out there, and are we doing it consistent? Because as you know, if you take in any of our other challenge and you aren't consistent, what I keep talking about, you will not be successful. So that's one of the last things. So there's two more points I wanted to just cover quick, is one is consistency. And I kind of, equate this to is if you just do one TikTok, if you just do one YouTube, you will not see results. And I kind of talk of this a little bit, like when you go to college, when you go to get an exam, when you start a course, you cannot go take one course and expect a paycheck. That when you go to, when you start college, when you go for that bachelor's degree, that you have to put in 4 years of work before you're going to see even a paycheck. Somehow we think in the social media world or whatever it is, you can just start and you're supposed to expect results immediately. Now, do you see results a lot quicker than 4 years? Absolutely. But if you're not consistent, if you don't go to class all the time, if you're not putting in that work, and you're not staying consistent, you will not see results. I can tell you that right now. And that's one thing, Kalene, when she said we looked at our analytics, we always go back and are looking at that back end, how we read them. But she was like, we're consistent. If you look, we have 2 videos, go to our YouTube channel. We have 2 videos every week for the last year and a half. We have done a video, even during Christmas. Yep. We plan ahead, we have it, we publish it.
Well, and I'm reading this quote, it kind of touched home, because as we were diving into our analytics and talking through, I'm like, do we need to change it up? What kind of video should we do? I feel like we're, doing this kind of video again, thinking outside the box. And that really was it, that if you stay consistent, you will reap the benefits. And then next thing I know, I logged onto Facebook, went to a guy that actually coaches Laurie and I, and he posted this quote, and it was, hard things are the gatekeepers to the important things. And it's so true. Not going to say it's easy. You have to develop that habit. If you can develop that habit, then it is going to open, a pipeline that's filled with real estate clients if you do it correctly. And that's what the challenges are all about, is sometimes people feel overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. Here, we're going to tell you, why don't you try shooting this kind of video? Tag it this way. All of those logistics, just do it to develop the habit. And then you can go ahead and move on to the creative side, but understand what you're doing first.
Yeah. And I think, like, if you can say, yes, I'm going to be consistent, you're going to do it. I think if you go into this challenge, our next challenge is free. I just want you guys to say, I'm going to be consistent. And I think that a key to part of that, what we were missing from our last one, is accountability. It's so easy to start something. I've done it many times. I start and then I never actually finish it because no one's holding me accountable. It's why you have accountability coaches. It's why people pay thousands and thousands of dollars for them, is because so many people need, like when you take a diet, that diet challenge where you have to pay in $50 and log on once a week, and then maybe you could win the challenge. I mean, that people pay hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for accountability. And maybe ask yourself, if it's time for a change when you're sitting in this market, I guarantee you, if you start now, you're going to come out on the other side of this market ahead of every other real estate agent in your market, if you do this now and you take accountability for it. I think it's easy just to sit here. It's the agents that sit and don't do anything and say it's not working, who are not going, when they come out on the other side of it. I think that's, so accountability is something that our next challenge is going to provide you. So I know we're getting closer to the 10 o'clock mark, but I know last time we talked about that sphere and doing that sphere challenge. And I promised all of you on here that we are going to do that after the new year. We're going to get to that, using video for your sphere. I just wanted to back up. We've had a lot of you guys reach out asking for us to do more of that challenge with TikTok. And as far as that accountability piece goes, so we're going to go back and do that. We're going to hold, it's free. So those of you who text Sphere, you don't need to text it again. I'll still send you the link. But if you guys want to join the challenge for TikTok, text text sphere. It's right down here in the blue to that number. It's my number. I'll get it. And then once I have that link, I will send it to you for the challenge. But if you will have live Zooms for 4 days in the morning, and we're going to go over how to be intentional and actually the content that we shoot. We're going to go over those details with you guys specifically. And it's free, and you're going to get an accountability partner, and we're going to talk about strategy, and we're going to get you guys going. And so if you can tell yourself those those things we talked about today, I promise you that you will be successful and come out on the other end of it by using our strategies that we put in place. I can show you our numbers, it works. And so I think that's the big part of it. If you can't join us exactly at that time that day, it will be recorded. You can go back and watch it, but I do challenge you to try. It's during the holidays. I know it's going to be probably the first week in December that we're going to do it, but you can, be consistent during this time. And then on the other end of it, you'll be ready to go.
Well, and that's what, if you can commit to the 4-day challenge, I would say at most 45 minutes to an hour each day. You will understand TikTok more, you will understand the intentionality, and you will understand some of those logistics. You're going to get your feet wet. If you can, then get past, all right, now I know very, little, but I've started the account, I've posted, 4 different videos, then we can dive into lots more of the actual logistics. Like, how do I do a green screen? How do I do a moving map? Maybe you want to highlight some drone footage that you already own. Maybe you want to talk about a listing that you have. How do you do that and get the result that is going to attract an audience to actually reach out to you?
Yep, absolutely.
This is getting your feet wet. This is the 4-day challenge, getting your feet wet. And why not? It's free, but we do want to hold each other accountable.
Yep. So we'll do, they won't, so if you're not in the challenge, it's just people in the challenge. I'm not going to record it and post it to the group. It's going to be just in the challenge. I feel like that holds us more accountable, and it will generate some excitement between all of us, and we can always bounce ideas off each other. I am getting your texts coming through for the challenge. I just can't respond to all of you guys, but know that I see them all coming in, and I will send you guys those links to join the challenge for free. And it'll be, I promise you're going to love it. It's going to be great. It's going to keep you motivated. And how many of you guys, maybe you can pop in the chat, how many of you guys have started using TikTok? I think and then this is going to challenge us to go into more of the long content and then into the sphere. So it's going to be great. I'm super excited about it. I hope you guys are too. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you're not on our group, I will post in the chat real quick. This is our group. I will post a link to or the text if you missed my number, if I get done with this as well. Let me see if I can go back and figure out how to do this. See. Yeah.
We will post a link to the recording of this. Somebody just asked about that, so you can go back and rewatch it. If you just join the Facebook group, then you will have access to that.
Yep. And I just put that Facebook group if you guys want to join us there as well. And then that's text sphere to that number, and you guys can join. But I think that's all for today, unless anyone else has any
Laurie,
other questions.
I don't see the link in the chat. Is that where you put it?
Oh, oops, I sent it just to one person.
Okay.
Let me switch it out again. That's our group.
Well, I'm excited to wrap up this year, get it going, be able to really make a commitment, get into healthy habits, and then be able to execute. And why not start fresh? That was kind of the thought. We had a lot of people say, can I get access to that TikTok again? Yep, we can go ahead and do that again. And then, to be honest, it's a great stepping stone to video in general, which then we'll use video for the long content, and then take it to a whole nother level for staying in front of that sphere. So.
Yep. All right, that's it for today. You guys have a great weekend and we will talk to you guys all soon. Bye, everyone.